I have been a big Spider-Man fan since Tobey Maguire blessed us with his cry face in 2002. I watched Spider-Man so many times, I had like all the lines memorized. And I loved all the sequels. I mean, I even loved the mess that was the third one. And it didn't bother me when they rebooted it either. I mean, I loved the Andrew Garfield version too. I got a little bit nervous with the reboot. At this point, as an actor, I had pretty much proclaimed that I would never do any extra work again. As an actor, you can't put any background work on your resume, so I just realized that it was pointless. But then I got offered a spot on Spider-Man Homecoming. At that time, it was going under the fake name of Summer of George, which only makes me think about either Seinfeld.
I proclaim this the Summer of George!
Or DNF.
Come here, George! Oh, George!
I was so excited for this, I think I cried. For this particular background situation, it was a little different. Normally as an extra, you just kind of get picked off your picture. But for this, I actually had to send in a resume. They wanted all the background, I guess, to have some sort of acting chops. So I actually got hired for like a specific thing. I was gonna be in a scene, and I didn't actually fully know what it was gonna be, but I was gonna have like a cheerleader uniform and something, and I was gonna have to react to something. It was much more of a featured spot than it was just a regular background. However, they wanted to keep like all the people who were part of the high school in that world pretty much the same. So I had, I think, 4 days total of working. I can't quite remember. And they wanted me to be in other scenes too, because they kind of wanted to just have a consistency in like who was a part of this world, this school, which I actually think is really cool. So I flew up to Atlanta, but there was this massive storm going on, so we had to actually go to Charlotte because we were like flying in circles for too long and we're gonna run out of fuel. So we had to land in Charlotte, refuel, get back up, and go to Atlanta. What should have been an easy 1 hour flight turned into 7 hours on one plane. I could have driven to Atlanta in that time. And by the time I got an Uber to my hotel room, I realized that my hotel was a lot more sketchy than I thought it was. It was 2 o'clock in the morning and I had a 5 a.m. call time. The call time just means the time that you need to be on set. So I got into my hotel room like 2 o'clock in the morning and I was just like, I just need a shower after being on this plane for so long, and then I just want to sleep for at least a little bit. So I tried to turn on the shower, and no matter what I did, it was freezing cold. There was nothing to do. So I took this freezing cold shower and then got into this bed in this like creepy hotel room and just like kind of cried. Anyway, so after that fiasco, I got up. I don't know, got up at like 4. I Ubered over to my like arrival destination, which is where all the background had to go. And then I had to get on a bus. I know this all seems very sketchy looking back at it, but it was fine. I had to get on a bus that production was driving, which took me then over to our filming and holding location. We had to go through security. We had to turn in all of our phones because, you know, Marvel. And then it was pretty much just sitting and waiting for a really long time. We did actually have to go through, this was the first time I ever had to do this as background, but we went through hair and makeup, which was really fun. And then we actually went through costuming, which was fun too. What was really interesting, this was like one of the first days of filming, so none of like the production team, like the crew and the other actors quite knew each other yet. Well, the actors probably knew each other from rehearsal, but like the production team didn't really know each other, so it was kind of fun to be part of like the first days. And something happened on the first day where I guess the director was just like, no plaid. We want no plaid in this movie. So like people had to go and change in costuming if they had any kind of plaid. So once all that was done, I went up to the first like scene we were going to film for that day, which was pretty much the only scene, which was the hallway opening. And it's actually the only place that you can see me. I was talking to a blonde girl and I can't remember her name and I'm so sorry. And she like, I guess Peter like kind of runs into her and then she like gives him a look and then I turn and I'm behind them.
No spreadsheets, Peter. Here's a gold
Right there.
coin.
Blonde girl, me.
I don't know how jobs work.
I turn.
That's exactly how they work. Oh.
Behind him. Here. Okay, see? That's me grabbing my bag.
I
Follow
don't know
my
how jobs
mouse.
work.
Wait,
That's exactly how they work. Oh. I'll knock out the basic bones of the Death Star at my place, and then I'll come by afterwards because.
And I got myself a nice little spot. I mean, I'm blurry in the background, but I'm there and you can see it. So at that time, Tom Holland was staying in his American accent the whole way through filming. I know at this point he's done it for so long that he can switch between the two very easily, but he would stay in it in between takes, and he kept messing up his line, and we were like hours late for lunch. We were all starving, but they wanted to get this right before they break for lunch. And whenever Tom would mess up, he would just come down the hallway because we were all in our little spots behind him. And he would just be like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And it was at that moment that I realized that Tom Holland pretty much is exactly the way he appears in interviews. At this time, you know, I'm not even sure that Civil War was out yet, but he had definitely been doing interviews about it. So after all of that, filming that one little snippet for 9 hours, I went back to the hotel room because we were done filming for the day. And I actually had a break day in between. So I had like a day off and then another day of filming. And on my day off, I just kind of decided to stay in my hotel room and order food. And I made this like little vlog in my room because I was so bored.
Hello. Today's my day off, and I'm sitting in a bathtub.
And then on the next day, the rest of the days get kind of jumbled up. So I'll just tell like general stories from here on out. I was in the homecoming dance scene where we were all supposed to be dancing, obviously. We filmed that for literally like 10 hours. That was a whole day. So we all were like given like a place after we got our costumes and stuff like that for the dance, and I got like some jewelry and such. We were all given like little spots and told to just dance. Sometimes they would play music and sometimes they wouldn't, depending on if they were recording dialogue. It was fun when they played music. It was really stupid. So anyone who knows me knows I love to dance. So I kind of gave it my all, but I didn't realize how long it was going to be, so I ended up getting really exhausted and sweaty and gross. At one point, we were like waiting for them to move camera, and Tom Holland was just like kind of sitting in the middle of all of us on this like gym floor. And of course, like, you know, when you're like a celebrity, people are naturally gonna like stare at you. So people would like keep like looking at him, and then at one point he was like, oh, I feel like I should tell like stories or something, because like he was like, you're all around me like campfire or something. I don't know. People laughed, and they laughed like exaggeratedly. Yeah. Because, you know, when someone's, like, famous and they say something funny, or, like, when you know, think someone's cute or whatever, it's kind of like, ah. He was so genuinely nice throughout the whole process, which, again, is why I think he's probably that nice in real life, given that was kind of real life. What's interesting is they actually filmed him kissing the character Liz, like, over and over and over again, but they didn't put the kiss in the movie. And it was weird for me when I went and saw the movie that whole scene was only like, it's literally only like 30 seconds. Then I was also in the cafeteria, but you can't see me at all in the cafeteria. I'm not even sure the scene that I was in even ended up in the movie, but because I was like staring at the actors while they were talking, and no one was like, hey girl in the background, stop staring. I also couldn't see the camera, so if you can't see the camera, odds are the camera can't see you. I can't remember if I filmed anything else. This was 5 years ago now, which is weird to think about. I do remember watching a couple scenes be filmed that I wasn't in. Like, for example, there's this one scene where Tom Holland runs to get his suit underneath the lockers. And we were filming in a real school. And they, like, built these lockers that looked like the rest of the lockers, I guess, or something. They put it on a like an airlift, like this machine that would lift it up. So in the scene, when he goes to like lift it up, and in the movie it makes like a grrr sound. not quite that, but you know. In real life it was just like a so it's really cool to just watch some scenes get shot that, you know, that I wasn't even part of. I was such a just huge fan of, you know, this character, and to be able to be part of that world was amazing. When it came to shoot my scene that I was going to be a cheerleader in and, like, react to this thing and actually have a moment, that was actually going to be shot at Pinewood Studios. And I was really excited because I was excited to be able to go to a real, like, Pinewood Studio. That's big studios. That's, like, you know, big studio building where they film so many of these, you know, Marvel movies. I never got to go because we ended up getting called by one of the crew people, and they were like, hey, we're running, like, super behind. We're not even going to shoot that scene at all. So I was really disappointed because at that point I just became like regular background, but it was still it was such a great experience. It was so much fun. I am now done. I will not do any more extra work. I mean, that was 5 years ago, and I haven't, and I won't do any more. But it's really cool that I just got to be part of that world for a little bit. So that's my story of me being on Spider-Man Homecoming. It was a lot of fun. I have some other ideas for this channel of videos I want to do. I kind of don't really have a genre for this channel. I know I've mainly talked about acting stuff that I've done, but there's some other things I want to do, like possibly some gaming, possibly some traveling, possibly some other stuff. I actually have another YouTube channel for those of you who don't know. I'll link it in the description in case any of you guys are interested in like casual vlogging style stuff or random cover songs I've done. I first started that channel in 2007. And I still post to it. So I think it was like listed under like one of the like legendary YouTube channels, not for views or anything like that, but simply just the fact that it's very old and still active. I also started streaming on Twitch a little bit, so I'll link that as well. I just started playing Minecraft, yes. I'm 26 years old and I just started playing Minecraft, and I really love it, but I'm trying to get over my fear of mobs. I don't know why. Then it genuinely freaks me out. Anyway, so if any of those things interest you, please consider subscribing to this channel and stick around, or, you know, whatever. You can always unsubscribe. Thanks.
Could you come and save me from this? I don't